Welcome to video number 2 of Disaster Proofing Your Business. If you are jumping in right now and you have not already watched video 1, please go back and do that. In that video, you're gonna find the structure of this training video series as well as your first piece of homework that all the future videos are gonna kind of build off of. So you need to finish video 1 before you come to video 2. And now that you're here, after you're done watching this video, make sure you do the take action activities at the end of this video before proceeding to the next video. So today we start step 2 of our 4-step process. Step 2 is identify possible threats and where they're coming from. And we're gonna break this step into 3 different videos. Told you there was a lot of sub-steps in the last video. So today we're talking about income. We are going to look at our income and identify possible threats to our income in the upcoming periods. So the first thing is, will your product or service be in lower demand because of this disaster going on? So when we're talking about the coronavirus that's going on right now, if your sales depend on people going out, then I almost said a bad word, but I'm gonna try not to. You're sure as heck right that if your sales depend on people going out, that your product or service is going to be in lower demand because many people are self-quarantining and lots of people just don't have a reason to go out right now, right? We're social distancing. So when I think about this, if you're in a business that is related in any way to the events industry, then you've already felt this. You already know I'm talking to you. We're talking event planners, caterers, event photographers, because there's other businesses that are being affected highly too. There's retail sales, personal services like hair and nail, restaurants, all of these things are being affected either because there's bans on bars, restaurants, social gatherings, gyms, or the such, or people just aren't going out, right? So the demand for your product is down or your service is down. So if your sales depend on people going out, you're being affected right now. If your product or service depends on discretionary income, you're being affected right now. With so many people financially uncertain about what's happening in the next upcoming months, we are hoarding. Okay, we are hoarding our money and we're holding tight to our money and we're being very frugal with where we spend it. So if your customers have less income to spend, whether it's because they're not working as much or maybe they're a struggling business owner, whatever the reason, you need to ask yourself, will they still spend their money on your product or service? Right? You got to be honest here. There's a lot of my multi-level marketing friends out there that are being affected. Hair salons, well, at this point, at least in Colorado, in some places, I'm in Colorado, but in some places, hair salons, tattoo parlors, spas, they were forced to close. If you're somewhere in the country where there wasn't a forced closure, but you're in one of these industries, you're probably seeing less people coming in because people aren't going out as much because of quarantine rules, right? Like I said, a lot of my multi-level marketing friends are being affected because their products aren't considered by all of their clients to be necessities. And a lot of my coaching friends out there, their services are getting cut because as we have to cut as a society, we're cutting our expenses. We have to pick what's essential and what's not. So if your product or service depends on discretionary, you are not essential to your client's life and well-being, then chances are you're going to see a decrease in sales, okay? So your first take action is to reach out to your clients. All right, so first and foremost, confirm purchase orders with clients to prepare so that you can prepare projections. So we talked about, we wanted to look at the upcoming quarter. So look at whether, if you're in a product industry, okay, what that means is confirming purchase orders. Looking at people who are about to order or usually order at this time of year or are ready for a reorder of your product. Reach out to them. Do not wait for them to come to you. Okay, reach out to them and confirm their order. At that point, they might say, yeah, I'm ready to order, or, I'm going to order, but it's a little bit down the road. Or maybe that's the point where they tell you, we're not ordering this time around. We don't have the business or the money to do so. When you make these client calls, when you're you're confirming purchase orders, and this works in the service industry too, right? If I'm in the tax industry. Okay, let's use me as an example. As we're looking at clients who have not yet come in to do their tax return, we're going to reach out to them and be like, hey, when can we anticipate you coming in? Not to rush them in, but just to make sure they are coming back, see if they need any help, if they're having any trouble with anything. These client calls, are not only a way for you to reach out and get feelers on who's going to be using your business or who maybe is going to be cutting back, but it's also going to give you an opportunity to have a conversation with your clients about how you can serve them during this tough time. We will talk about this more in depth in a later video when we talk about solutions. But I want to say this right here, that if you use the info that you're gathering from these client calls and you get creative, you're going to be able to figure out a way to pivot your business model to adapt to the changes that your clients may need now. Again, we're going to talk about this later in the solution section, but start thinking about that as you're talking to your clients, feeling their pain points and seeing what they need help with. That maybe is not necessarily what you're already offering. Following me? So that's take action number 1, is to reach out to your clients. And take action number 2 is to answer the questions that we started this video out with. So will my product or service be in lower demand because of people staying home? And is my product or service a necessity, or do my sales rely on my customers' discretionary income? So sit with those 2 questions for a while and be honest with yourself. All right, so do those 2 take action projects, and I will see you in video 3.